This is the Rope Masters Videocast, your source for the best in rope skipping instruction. Hosted by world champion Peter Nessler.
Unless you have been living in a hole, you probably know that Michael Jackson has passed away. And I have decided for this episode of the videocast that I will teach you how to do the moonwalk as kind of my tribute to him. And since he did a lot of dance step stuff, the JV skill, we're going to cover the grapevine or the karaoke step or quick step, whatever it's called, and we'll be doing that. And I don't think he ever did it, but he was into dancing, and I couldn't honestly think of too much else that I could do that looked very impressive. So I thought we would do that one for the JV, and then the varsity will be the moonwalk.
The JV skill.
For the JV, we're going to be doing a grapevine or karaoke step. I'm not really sure the exact proper name for it, but we'll be doing it. Now, the first thing with this, we're going to start off doing it very slow, and then we'll be working up to doing it full speed. Now, when you get it to full speed, it's going to end up looking like this. Oh, if I could do it right. Here, let's try it one more time. So you'll notice a very quick foot motion, but the tricky part here is how you're actually doing the jumping. Now the first thing you'll notice, and the way to start with this whole thing, is to start off by just practicing. It's kind of a double bounce at single bounce speed, but we're going to start off doing it kind of like a 4-step at double bounce speed. So you're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. So you're jumping the rope real slow, and every time the rope goes, you're going to go 1 foot, and then the other one steps afterwards. So you're not doing jump, jump. You're actually going step, and then step down. So it's a 1, 2. And then you should be able to do it on the other foot, 1, 2. So you're going to be doing that while the rope's coming over. So it's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then try it with the other foot, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you want to make sure you can get that motion down somewhat comfortably. I won't say very comfortably because it does take a little bit of practice, but you should be somewhat comfortable with doing that at double bounce speed. Then you want to speed that up to single bounce. So it'll be here, kind of a slow single bounce, and then the other foot. So you want to work on doing that so you can get that pacing down, because that's going to be how you go into doing the grapevine at this speed. You can do it at kind of a single bounce step, but we're going to go ahead and just do it at this kind of double time with the feet. So you'll notice every time you get it down, so you get that pacing down. So you want to work on that. Now once you've got that down, then we're going to work on doing it with the actual grapevine, which when I'm going to do it, you're going to go jump, step, jump, step, jump, step, and then jump, step. So you're going to be moving across that way. Then when you go back to the left, it's the same thing, jump, step, jump, step. So it's the exact same thing. You're doing jump, step. When you go jump, this foot steps behind, and then the next one, jump, this foot steps in front. So you're switching up. So it goes jump, foot behind, jump, this foot in front. So it's basically whatever the leg is that's doing the stepping is going to go behind, then it'll go in front, and then behind. And then same thing when you're going back. Foot that jumps, steps out. Foot that's stepping either steps behind or it steps in front. So at double bounce speed, you start off jumping slow here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're working on that pace, and then going back the other way. You double bounce, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you want to work at getting that very comfortably at a double bounce speed before you speed it up. And then as you do that, you just gradually build the speed. So you work up to maybe a slow single bounce, 1, 2, 2. And then when I'm switching directions, because it's kind of tough to go from here to switching back, when I'm coming out, I'll step with this, just kind of do like a heel touch and all the weight here, and then I'll go back the opposite direction when I'm doing it. So 1, 2, 1, 2, heel touch, 2, 2, heel touch, and then back. So you want to work on doing that, and then when you pick up the speed, you're going full speed. You don't want to jump real high. You want to keep it pretty close to the ground so it doesn't look like you're necessarily jumping. It looks more like you're moving across sideways. So when you're at full speed, 2, and then you can do it just real quick, And there's a lot of variations that you can do out of it, but it's kind of just, this one is really good to starting to work on your timing, where you're kind of forcing your body to, to jump your feet kind of as an off rhythm while you're doing jumping. So it does take a little bit of practice to get it where it feels somewhat comfortable. So you remember, start off slow. 1, 2, work on the pacing. Once you can do that, then try it without the rope. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then back. Same thing. And when you add the rope in, start off slow, then work up to full speed. And you can go back and forth with doing that. So that is how you do the karaoke grapevine, or I think it's even been called the quick step. So just kind of depends on who you talk to, what it's called.
Varsity skill.
For the varsity, we're going to be doing the moonwalk. This is kind of my tribute to Michael Jackson, having passed away here recently. Now the moonwalk, normally when people do it, I cannot do it on the ground. I only can do it while jump roping. I have very little rhythm without a rope, so I'm not going to even bother trying to show you what it looks like without the rope. But I'm sure you know. But anyway, what you're going to end up doing with the rope, when you finish, is going to end up looking like this. And you can work up to doing the moonwalk. Now, when you're doing this, there's a couple things you have to think about when you're trying to get this trick down. Now, the first thing you want to do is, you'll notice I'm going to be jumping here. Pick whichever foot you want to start with. Doesn't really matter. You need to be able to do it with both feet to do it where it works well. You want to jump up. You're going to do a heel touch. And you'll notice that I'm touching a toe touch. You're going to touch the toe right at the heel of my opposite foot. So if my right toe is touching, I'm touching it right at the heel of my opposite foot. I'm not touching back here. I'm not touching out here. I'm touching right next to that foot. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump, but I'm not going to jump real high. You want to keep this one real low. If you jump real high, it's going to look bouncy. It's not going to look correct. So when I jump here, I'm going to jump slow, barely pick this foot up as low as you possibly can. This is where the practice comes in. You want to get it so it looks like that foot is barely coming off the ground, if at all. You slide that foot back. This heel's here. I'm jumping back to here, so I'm going to slide back to where this toe is now matching that toe. And then I'm going to switch. This toe is now where this heel is. Jump back to there, here, and back. Now you don't want to make the mistake of going here and sliding this foot forward. It doesn't look correct because there should be some backward motion to this. So this toe should pretty much stay exactly where it is. This one slides back, we switch, this one slides back, switch, this one slides back. Now once we're doing it while we're jumping, you always want to try these things out slow. Just start off jumping here, slide, and try it again. So go here, jump, here, jump, here, jump, here, jump, here, jump. So you work on doing that nice and slow where you kind of get that feel for it. Once you can do that, then you want to speed it up. And when you're jumping at single bounce, you're just sliding that foot back while you're jumping. So you want to make sure you just practice getting this motion where you can move this foot pretty much where this one's independent of this foot, switch, sliding back. And then the whole time while you're jumping, while this one's sliding, make sure you try to keep this foot exactly where it was. You do have to pick it up off the ground to clear the rope, but just keep it right where it's at. Slide it, switch, slide, switch, slide, switch. And one more time, I'll go ahead and face this way. Jumping here, here, jump. And you'll notice, to make it look a lot more believable, you'll notice I'll speed it up even more. When I'm pulling the rope under, I'm kind of whipping it a little bit at the end here. So if I'm jumping here. So while I'm pulling, I'm kind of whipping the rope to make sure the rope clears under my foot, because I'm trying to jump as little as I can to make it a little bit more believable. And that is the moonwalk.
For more information, check out www.jumprm.com.